Hey, what's up everybody? This is Tony with Lido Loca, and this is the Lido Loca Daily News. Yeah, so big week for cruising last week. It was the annual Seatrade Global Cruise Conference down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's where all the heads of the cruising companies come together and really kind of talk about how cruising was in 2017, what to expect in the future. Yeah, so first off, cruising was big in 2017. 25.8 million people went on a cruise last year, pushing the industry to be a $126 billion industry, employing over 1 million people. And the question for any business is, how's it going to go? Is it going to continue to grow, or is it going to tank? Well, cruising is going to continue to grow. They expect that the amount of cruisers in 2018 is going to jump up to 28 million cruisers. Largely in part to the fact that there's 27 new cruise ships launching in 2018. The growth is also largely in part to the investment that cruise companies are making in cruise ships over the next 10 years. So at the end of 2016, there was a total 10-year investment going forward of $50 billion, and it was announced at the conference last week that that number for the next 10 years has been pushed to $60 billion. So a lot of investment in cruising, and the whole goal is to continue to make cruising a mainstream vacation choice. That's already happening in the United States. Cruising is basically at this point considered a viable, normal option, and now it's just one of those things that's starting to take off worldwide. So yeah, let me read you this quote from Richard Phan, chairman of Royal Caribbean, talking about how mainstream cruising is becoming. It says, "We are mainstream, and I think you are seeing it in the U.S., beginning to see that in Europe, and see it in Australia, and in due course we'll also see that in China and other parts of Asia." Basically what the guy's saying is, yeah, cruising is on the rise. It's a good business to be in, and they're going to continue to ride that growth as cruising dominates travel as a means of vacationing across the globe. I don't know, is dominate too strong a word? I don't know. Another topic at the conference was kind of the changing landscape of the Caribbean. Mindful of the challenges of the hurricane season last year, the cruise lines have really worked to help rebuild ports that were destroyed by the hurricanes in September, and to invest in infrastructure to help them going forward. Another big change in the Caribbean is really the predominance of cruising to Cuba. Only in mid-2016 did it open up for cruise lines to start to port there, and now every major cruise line has sailings to Cuba. It's actually turned into a little bit of a profit center. Sailings to Cuba are traditionally a little more pricey than other stops in the Caribbean. It turns out to be a really kind of beneficial port for the cruise lines. And finally, a big conversation of that conference was the topic of innovation. As cruising becomes more mainstream, across the globe, the question becomes, how do you keep people entertained, and what amenities can you bring, and can you keep pushing the envelope? So another cool quote out of the conference was from Frank Del Rio, the chairman and president of Norwegian Cruise Lines. And if you know Norwegian, they're actually starting to put go-kart tracks on the top of their ships. Basically said that the sky's the limit. If I can quote the guy, he said, "No idea is absurd anymore. These ships are big. Anything can fit on them, and they are only going to get bigger." And so it's really interesting. You're starting to see ships get bigger with more amenities and more people going on them. So I guess the big takeaway from the conference is that the state and health of cruising and the cruising industry is good. It's booming, really. And so if you never tried to cruise, I would suggest giving it a shot. And of course, if you already got that cruise addiction, I don't have to tell you, preaching to the choir at this point. Interesting stuff out of the Seatrade Cruise Global Conference from Fort Lauderdale last week. All that was reported on by the Miami Herald. I'll link the article below if you want to read the full article. All right, in other news, of course, it's another day. It is March the 12th, so I had to look up and find out what the national days were for March the 12th. There's two that I thought were pretty cool. First, it's National Plant a Flower Day. I don't know that any day in my life has been plant a flower day, and so now I'm challenged to maybe plant a flower. I don't even know how you go about doing that, But for all you folks out there with the green thumb and the gardening inclination, maybe you kick off your spring garden right now with Plant a Flower Day. I don't know. And then also, it is National Napping Day. So we had the spring forward daylight savings time debacle yesterday. Many people tired, dragging. Today is National Napping Day. So hey, do yourself a favor. After lunch, when your belly's full, just close your eyes for 15 minutes. It'll do you good. Alright guys, that's news you can use, I hope, for March the 12th, 2018. Hope you guys are doing good today, kicking off your Monday. Hey, if you like this video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, consider subscribing with the notifications on so you get notified for all the new videos. All of our social media links are down in the description below if you want to follow us there on Twitter and Instagram. And make sure you come on over to Facebook, to the Lido Loca cruising community. And we've got a nice group over there, people talking cruising, sharing cruise news, and really just getting hyped up for cruising. So join us over there. But that's all I got. Have a great day, a great week, and I guess until the next time, I'll see you on the Lido.